Hello and welcome to Cute Pixel. Today I'm continuing my open source software development stream, continuing the project I've been working on for the last few streams, the Twitch Craps Table chatbot. This is my stream schedule today. Right now I'm working on the Twitch Craps Table chatbot, as I mentioned. My next stream will be 1 week from today, Sunday, March 10th, starting at 9 a.m. Please note that my time zone is United States Pacific time, and note that next week we start daylight saving time, and so the time zone will be 1 hour off, so note that for your local time zone corrections. Anyways, welcome. Let me go over the work I've been doing for the last few streams, or at least the last stream, so you can see where we are going. So we've been working on adding support for additional bets. Last time we added support for the don't come odds bet. We fixed a bug with computing available bounce. I forget what that was, but I think one of the bets wasn't counted properly. Then we added a new feature that I just demonstrated while the stream was getting warmed up to allow players to view their current bets. That's the bets command, the craps bets command. So we have some additional bets to add. We have place to lose, buy, lay. Those are probably the big ones that are going to be the most valuable. Place and place to lose are going to be easier because I'm not entirely sure how buy and lay work. I'll have to research those. Big 6-8, those are easy, but they're not great bets. Hard ways are also pretty easy. Proposition I'll need to research. Field is easy. Far I'll have to research a little bit. Bottom, top, and all have to research. And hop bets, I'm not sure. I think those might be a variant of proposition bets. So those are the bets I'm looking forward to adding. Features I'm looking at allow players to serve as the bank. Right now, the bank is basically the bot, and the bot has unlimited funds. And so my thought is to allow players to serve as the bank, which will hopefully limit the amount of money that is generated into the system, limit how much players are able to bet. If the bank doesn't have enough money to finance a particular bet, you won't be able to make it. And so that'll kind of provide a secondary way for players to earn some money. So just kind of think about that. I may or may not go down that road. Add ability to remove bets. So if you're a superstitious player and you feel like a particular condition is bad, you can choose to remove bets or turn bets on and off. So those are kind of down the road, but I think for right now I want to focus on implementing the place bets. And so to do that, I'm going to go look up the player guide, because this actually links to a craps documentation or craps guide that will kind of describe these bets. For those of you who want to look at the code, all my code is available on GitHub. Go to github.com/cutepixel/twitchcrapsbot. And the guide you can get by typing in craps help. That'll link to the guide. And this is the guide right here. Go to guide.md in my repository. It links to the same place. And craps basics, this is the external link that I was talking about for looking up how these bets work. This is from the Wizard of Odds, a great website if you're looking at how different casino games work. So I have to go down and look for how the place bets work. We're going to just pass through all the basic bets here. Pass. The odds. Don't pass. Odds for the don't pass. Come, don't come. So we've done all of that. Now we have place. So 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 are known as the place numbers. The player may bet on any of these numbers, and if it is rolled before a 7, the bet wins. Place bets are just like odds bets, except no pass line bet is required, and don't pay as much odds. To be specific, place bets on the 6 and 8 pay 7 to 6, 7 and 9 pay 7 to 5, and the 4 and 10 pay 9 to 5. The table below shows the best odds are on the 6 and 8. So we have the house edge. 6 and 8 is 0.46%. 509 is 1.11. 410 is 1.67. So 6 and 8 are the best bets to place if you're looking to place numbers. If you're looking to use the place bets. 5 and 9 is not terrible. 4 and 10, the better alternative is you can buy those bets. It's a different bet that works a little bit differently. But I'm going to focus on the place first. Let's go look at our code. So I have this class where I track all sorts of different data structures for the different bets. We have player balances, we have pass bets, pass odds bets, don't pass odds, come odds, don't come odds. And so next is going to be place bets. Now you might notice that some of these bets are a map. The map basically maps player names to their bet amount. Some of them are arrays. They're sparse arrays because the come bets can be on a series of numbers. You can have the raw come bet, which I use as array index 0, and we can have come bets on the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So I use a sparse array with the index 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 to track the come bets. For come odds, the same thing, except we don't have the basic come odds bet, so the index 0 goes away. Don't come and don't come odds are stored the same way to the come and come odds bets. Place is going to be very similar. There's not going to be a raw place bet, so there's no index 0, but you can place the 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So we're going to do that the same way. We'll use a sparse array for that. Let's just go through and look up where this needs to be set. We have our initialization for come and don't come. This goes through the indexes 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Went to skip 0. Skip index 0. Say this dot. Let's just copy this. Place bets sub I is equal to a new map. So we still use the map, it's just we use the sparse array to track these things before we get to the map. And continuing on. Just looking for any place where we iterate over all of the bets, all the points when initializing the bets, or just iterating over them at this point. So we're just going to do a quick glance through the code. There's at least 2 or 3 different areas where this will come up. Get available balances, this is another one. And again, the same thing. We iterate over all of the indexes. 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. That's for the come and don't come, and then here we will again skip index 0. Whoa. My editor went nutso. Not quite sure what happened there. My editor got really confused. Alright, so if place bets has username, then we adjust available balance based on place bets. This is to get the available balance available for betting. Check minimum balances. This doesn't change. Now we have kind of all of the logic for handling a bet. So we have odds multiplier for odds bets, functions for bet 1, odds 1. We have the light side and the dark side that adjust the multiplier based on whether you're the pass or don't pass, or the come or don't come. Loss, process bets, show bet results. None of this really changes. We'll have to go through this and add logic for the place bets, but none of this really changes for what I'm looking at right now. Again, I'm just looking for places where I iterate over all of the points for setting up bets. I think there's one other place. Yeah, bets exist. This is the place here. So iterate over all come bet arrays, indexes 0, 4, 5, 6. This is line 401. I want to look up the other two I've touched. Yeah, let's get, let's drop that. We'll say iterate over bet arrays. Because now we're adding place bets to this, so it's not just come bets, it's come plus place bets. Iterate over bet arrays. This one actually still applies, so although I might change the name. Come bet arrays. Let's just look again here. Iterate over bet arrays. Iterate over come bet arrays. Bets exist. Iterate over bet arrays. Skip index 0 again. Alright, so this is for the come odds and don't come odds. We're also going to add in the place bets here. So if place bet sub I dot size is greater than 0, return true. This is so if we know if any bets still exist, we have some logic to automatically roll the dice if a bet exists or if there is a point. This check is up here actually. If bet exists, sorry, if no bet exists and there is no point, we check minimum balances, we write out our player data, and we stop the timer. Otherwise, we start the timer for the next die roll. So we'll keep rolling the dice automatically as long as bet exists, or if there is a point. All right, moving on. So we've addressed bets exist, and I think that's the last spot I have to touch for this pass of work here. We've added in place bets. Now we have all of our command processing. You know, we have kind of going to start with craps, otherwise we give them help. We handle the roll command, which is an admin command. We have help, balance, bets, bet. Then if we don't recognize it, we give them help again. Roll command, this is an admin command. So if you're not the bot owner, you will be not authorized to run it. It's also a debug command, so you can only use it if debugging is enabled. Because you can use it to cheat. You can use it to specify the exact die roll you want. So normally I want that disabled. That's the basic checks here. Is it a number? Is it between 1 and 6? You don't want to specify a die roll that is way out there. Players can get their balance. Players can view their bets. Here's another place. This is actually a new place that I should address here. Yeah, here we go. Iterate over come bet arrays. Which in this case, just bet arrays, indexes 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And yeah, let's just add in I think let's add in the place bets here. Although, I'm thinking about display order. This right now groups all of the come bets together. Would it make sense to group place bets inside the come bets or handle them separately? Let's undo this. Come bet arrays. I want to do them separately. So I'm using out of a duplicate this somewhat complex for loop, but I think it'll work out better for display purposes. So let's go ahead and add that here. This will be iterate over place bet array. Indexes 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. So we could say I is equal to 4, less than equal to 10. We don't need this I equals 0. Actually, we only need the this I not equal to 7 because already it will never be less than 4 and never be greater than 10. So those extra checks do nothing for us here. Actually, do I ever need to... Yeah, so we just checked I is equal to 0 or is greater than 4 and not 7. So the only check we need to make is to make sure it is not 7. So if an I is not equal to 7, we can do this. Let's just grab this as an example. Amount is equal to place bet sub I get. Let's see. We have this kind of point logic up here. This is because we can sometimes have the raw come bet, and so we handle that. For place, that's not going to be the case, so we can drop that point logic. So this would be place plus a space plus I colon amount, and bets found true. And we could test that real fast, make sure that this does work. We'll test that once I start implementing the betting logic here. Let's see, we'll call this iterate over the place bet array. Now let's just look up the comments on this one more time. Iterate over bets arrays. Because yeah, the arrays contain maps that contain multiple bets. So I think using the plural of bet here does make sense. So iterate over bets arrays. Iterate over come bets arrays. Iterate over bets arrays. Iterate over come bets arrays. Iterate over place bets array, and there's only one place bets array, so this works. Yeah, I think it looks good, so let's continue on. So here we have the function to process a command. Actually, this is the bet command. If you make sure that it starts with a space, because you need to specify which bet you want to make. Then we have pass odds, pass, don't pass, odds, don't pass, come odds, come, don't come odds, don't come, and we're going to add in place. Now the place bet, you have to place that on a specific number. So if we look up the guide, this will kind of show us what the format for that looks like. So we have for the bets that don't apply to a specific point or a number in this case, we have craps bet type and amount. For bets that apply to a specific point, such as the come odds bet, use this format, craps bet type point amount. And we have a function that handles that, the handle come odds bet. This is no longer a it's no longer a come bet. This is now kind of a number bet, so I could potentially rename this, but I think there is some logic here that does deal with come bets. Like we have come bets and come odds bets. So I think there's some logic. Now we have come odds check. So probably what I'm going to need is something to get the number. Well, first let's just build the function we need. Let's build up a handle number bet. And then we'll see if there's any duplicate code we can refactor. I know there's going to be, but let's just handle the bet first, handle the logic we want first, and then we can refactor it to clean things up. So handle number bet. So we're going to have username, type. We're going to want the bet array, the sparse array. We don't need that. Bet is the command, and then is light or not doesn't matter. That's not relevant. Here it's a little bit different. You say you must specify a point. It should be a number. Well, let's see. The place numbers. It may bet on any of these numbers. Wins, place messages like odds. Yeah, so I think calling them numbers will make sense. So you must specify a number. I'm able to parse number. Rename this to number. Let's see, then number needs to be less, well, if it's less than 4 or equal to 7 or greater than 10, it's an invalid number. There's some other junk here. So this is all for doing odds checks, additional checks on the bet. And I can't think of any additional checks to put on the place bets yet, so I'm going to delete all that. So this handle bet, username, type plus space plus number. And then this needs to be bets sub number. The check function, there is none, so I'll just call that undefined, and then the bet, the remainder of the bet command. And so yeah, all this stuff here is all code that is duplicating stuff over here, and I think we can just pull that out. We can say get bet number. We will need username. And I think we need bet. Yeah, this will be interesting because we need to think about error handling here. Oh, and we need type. Username type. bet. And I think these are always going to be a certain point. So it should be 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And so if it fails, we could return 0 and have that be our error condition. Or we could do something like return not a number. Not a number of literals. Okay, do number dot not a number. Let's do that. And so let's see here. We could say point is equal to this dot get. Was it get number? What was it? Get bet number. And we need username, type, and bet. And then if... let's just bring this up here. If number is not a number, if point is not a number, we could just return at this point. And rest assured that the error has already been printed out to the user. And for our handle number bet, we can basically do the same thing with one small change. In this case, we could say number is equal to this dot get bet number. If it's not a number, return. Then we could drop all of this. And I think that is enough, because handle bet will handle everything else. It'll make sure it starts with the right, well, it'll make sure it contains an amount. It'll parse the amount, make sure it's not too small, make sure it's not exceeding your available bounds, make sure you haven't made it already. If the check function is not undefined, we'll call the check function. There is no check function for a place bet. You can place that in any time, with no restrictions that I'm aware of. Give and place that when there is no point. Although most people prefer to wait until there is a point before placing the bet. Craps is filled with lots of superstitious players. And so there's lots of little tiny stuff that players do. So we haven't implemented the bet resolution yet, but I want to just test what we've done so far and make sure that that much at least works. So let's give that a try. Alright, so something doesn't like it. Line 639, I think I missed a comma. I had a new function, forgot to add a comma at the end of it. Yep, there it is. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to return number. So let's do that. Try it again. Alright, it works. So let's try to place... Well, yeah, let's try to place a bet. So say craps bet place 6 for $5 on the 6. Unrecognized bet. So missing something here. Did I add in the check on the bet? And it looks like I did not. So let's go ahead and add that here. So else if bet starts with place, we'll say handle number bet. Passing username, the type is place. In this case, we're passing in this dot place bets. See, I don't think it requires a check function, so I'm removing that. Yeah, let's give that a try. Let's kind of start at the very beginning, actually. Let's just make sure that all of the basic logic works here. So we'll start with craps bet place with no number. Get bet number is not a function. Okay. So bet number. No, it's get bet number. And try again. Craps bet place. You must specify a number. All right. And we'll just confirm that the come odds and don't come odds aren't broken either. So we'll say craps bet come odds. You must specify a number. So craps bet come odds. We're not going to test all that stuff here. We'll just see if we can specify a number. You must specify an amount. So craps bet come odds 550. You need a come bet on this point first. Okay, so that all seems to be working. So now let's start with the pass bets and just run through all that testing. So say craps bet is a pass? No, it's place. Sorry, place. So we'll say no number. So craps bet place. Give it a number we cannot parse. And we'll parse numbers. So craps bet place. Give it a number that we can parse but is invalid. Alright. Now let's do a legal one. Say craps bet place 6. So it's a legal number, but now you need to specify an amount. So craps bet place 6 kappa. And we'll parse. Let's make this huge, larger than what I got. Exceeds my maximum or my available balance. So craps bet place 6 is 0. Too small. Craps bet place 6, 5. Now let's make sure that my bets show up here. So I have craps balance. And so my balance is 743. My available balance is 738. I'm going to say craps bets to list the bets. Huh. So something is broken here. My bits display is broken. Let's go take a look at that. I may have not initialized things properly. Bets command. Oh, I need a check here to check to see if it has username. If I is not equal to 7, and this. Some variant of this. And let's place bets. Yeah, that should work. Let's give that another try. So as before, we won't run through the entire test suite. We'll just say we'll make a place bet on the 6 here. So craps bet place on the 6 for $5. Then we'll list the bets again and make sure it just shows up that one bet. Yeah. Then if I also do the 8, so craps bet. Actually, let's duplicate this bet. So craps bet place 6 for 5. We've already made this bet. Okay, so now we say craps bet place 8 for 5. Say craps bets just to see the bets we have available here. That's not going to work because I've already run that command to this roll. So let's just do a craps roll to fix that timeout. Of course, I just won my place bet on the 8, but I haven't implemented the roll or the place bet resolution logic, so that's obviously not going to do anything. So craps bets to see if I still have that bet on the 6 and on the 8. Excellent. So I think all that's left at this point is the bet resolution logic. As we can place the bets, we can list them. It affects my available balance, so craps balance should show me I have $10 less than my overall balance. And it does. Excellent. But yeah, so the only thing that's left is to add bet resolution logic. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I'm just going to look up our bet resolution logic here. This is becoming increasingly poor placement for this function, so I'm going to move this to right before the process roll function. Or maybe right after. Let's do it right after. Then we got other stuff after. Let's do it right before. That'll work. I need to do a overall pass to look through the ordering of functions in here and clean that up. Make sure it's more logical, because it's just kind of been roughly in the order I've added things with some general order, but haven't really thought about it much. And the file is getting unwieldy as it gets longer and larger. And so here we have process roll. We take in our 2 die rolls. We come up with a total. We come up with our point display. We print out the message, the die result message. We process cum bets. There's a whole bunch of logic for cum bets. We process our kind of our main point bets. We have our pass line and don't pass, and odds are also followed here. And so we probably just want maybe another function for processing place bets. Who calls process random roll? Maybe I can, because that's looking wrong to me. I wonder if I could find a better spot for that. We have the timer stuff, and we have the command. Yeah, maybe right after craps timer. That looks like a good spot to put it. Yeah, I like that a lot better. Alright, so we have process bet, show bet results. This is also kind of poorly placed. I think I'll want to put that... Well, afterwards, we'll do that. Or, what, in front of all of our bet processing logic. Yeah, there we go. We'll go there. Just kind of slowly making minor ordering changes as I look through this just to slowly try to improve it. Process bets, process come bet point, process come bets, and yeah, I think what we can do is just add in process place bets here. Add that comma. Process place bets based on the die total. So nothing happens if we roll a 7. Actually, no, if we roll a 7, all the place bets lose. So yeah, let's grab this. Handle 7 out. Yeah, just for that. If I total is 7, iterate over place bets array, and it is 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. There's going to be place bet sub I is lost, and nothing else changes. I wonder if I can move this onto the same line here. I can. Excellent. Briefly wondering if I could move this onto this line, but I think it's too long. Yeah, and that's a bit much for one line, and we already have a for loop, an if statement, and a function call all in one line. So I think that's good enough. Alright, so that's if we lose, but what if we win? We have process come bet points. Let's go look up process come bet point. Yeah, let's just grab this. There's a lot more logic here than we're going to want, but I think it's something we can work with. Alright, so if die total is greater than or equal to 4 and not 7, and less than or equal to 10. Hell, we could probably do a return here. No, that seems too much effort, so I'm not going to do the return. Because if I did the return, I could drop this check, but that relies on too much knowledge, and it might be confusing if someone ever drops that return to wonder why this starts failing all of a sudden. So I think I'm going to keep it simple for now. Alright, so we're going to need something that's close to this. The bet 1 is going to be slightly different. We're going to have to think that over a little bit here. And nothing else matters. bet 1 is really basic. It basically just returns the amount that you bet and you win it. You know, that's basically when you win an even money bet. But a place bet is not an even money bet. So to handle this with other types of bets, we have a more complex bet 1 function. We have dark odds 1, for instance. Let's go look up that. And this returns bet divided by your odds multiplier. Like if you bet on the 4 and 10, say the don't come odds, you bet, say 100, you get paid half back, you get paid 50. If you bet on the light side, if you bet 50 on the odds for 4 and 10, the come odds for the 4 and 10, you would get paid 100, you get paid double. And so we have light odds 1 that handles, we have light odds and dark odds that handles both ends of that multiplier. Light odds it multiplies, and dark odds it divides. So we're probably going to want like a place 1 bet. Let's go add 1 here. We'll say place 1. Yeah, I think I will continue to do the place multiplier. I'll do the multiplier function. We'll call this place multiplier. This dot point. We'll call this number. Number for the bet. The whole reason for this binding logic is so that we can pass in these additional parameters. Normally when these functions are called, they're called with only the bet parameter. And so without changing the entire stack, we can just bind these additional underlying parameters. That's what I'm doing here. Now we need the place multiplier, so let's go look up that. Say place multiplier. So 4 and 10 does what? So 4 and 10 pay 9 to 5. So normally they would pay 10 to 5. Now we're paying 9 to 5. 9 over 5. I don't have the right window open. So that's 4 and 10, so the 5 and 9 pay 7 to 5. Then the 6 and 8, they pay 7 to 6. If you bet $1, well, yeah. So to handle some of the rounding issues with this logic, I've actually let you place bets in whole. I I call them dollar increments, but they're kind of sim bucks. I use a different symbol rather than the dollar sign. So you place bets in full dollar increments, and then I track them internally down to pennies. So that if you do a bet that doesn't pay a full dollar amount, like say 100 or $1 on say a point of 6 and 8 for odds, we multiply that by 6 and divide that by 5, and you get $1.20. So I'm curious. It looks like this is not going to work for place bets. So if we have a 100-cent place bet and multiply that by 7 and divide that by 6, and we get some weird stuff out of that. And I really don't want to accumulate all sorts of weird fractions here. Normally to resolve stuff like this, most players would bet a minimum of, say, 6. Now 3 would also probably work. If I say 200 times 7 divided by 6, yeah, that doesn't work. But if I say 300 times 7 divided by 6, that does work. So a 3 would work, a 6 would work, but 1 and 2 does not. So probably what I'll end up doing is throw a floor into here. So that nobody can get weird fractional amounts, and it will throw away the 2/3 or 1/3 of 1 cent. So not a huge loss, but yeah, something where most players probably don't want to do that too much, because it does add to the house edge. So we'll just keep that in mind when we process place bets. We'll just have to throw that floor in there. So place multiplier, let's actually drop points and make this number instead. But I might want to do a number for this as well. Let's just see where I use the word point and see if I can replace that with a more generic number. So here is the actual point, so I don't want to change that. Unrecognized number. Yeah, let's do that. Unrecognized number. Those should never be hit because they're kind of internal things. Sure, let's do number here. The number of the point for the odds, sure, that works. Just to make these all the same, nice and generic. The point for the odds is correct. This changes. Process combat point. This works. Here we pass a number instead of point. So here we have dark odds 1, so we pass in number rather than point. Let's look that up again here. Process combat number. Point display, that's still accurate because we're working out the actual display for the current point. If we have no point. This all looks good. Looks good. So here we're referring to the true point, and this all makes sense. To see if we've 7'd out. Don't pass. Yeah, so here we need to pass in a number rather than point. So number and number. This point is equal to 0. That is correct. Point. Yep, we're referring to the main point there. Now let's refer to number here. Oops. Thought I had number on my clipboard, but it turns out I do not. Alright, so we're passing in point check. I think that still makes sense. Point check, yes, because we're checking to see if we have a point. And it'll come odds. Yeah, we'll just say, we'll refer to this as number. Yes, I think we'll pass in number instead of point here. I think that'll work. Number, point check is correct. That's correct. Point check is correct. This is correct. So here we go. Number, the point for the com odds. Let's go with number. You need a type bet on this number first. I think that's a good change. So a bit of a distraction, mostly just standardizing on number versus point. So anywhere where I say point, that's referring to the true table point. There's only one point for the entire table. I used to refer to like come bets as being on a particular point, but now I'm referring to the more generic number for those. And I think that'll help avoid confusion. So odds multiplier for a number, switch number, place multiplier for the number. Because yeah, once I start adding in place, where place didn't really even have a point, place was really just on a number. Kind of made more sense to be more specific there, or more general, I should say. Okay, let's go look up the place bets. Yeah, so place 1. Yeah, place multiplier this dot number times bet, and I need to do a math dot floor something here. Let's just remind myself of what that looks like. JavaScript floor. Math.floor, yeah. Or if we wanted to be nice, we could round it. If we wanted to be real nice to the people who are betting, we could round. No, I think I'll stick with the floor. Casinos don't treat people nice for that for the most part. I guess I've heard there's some that will actually round up in some cases. But we'll round down. math dot floor for this whole thing. And nothing else I'm aware of actually will have a fractional number still. So I think this is the only place we need to worry about the math floor. Let's continue to look at our stuff here. So process bets, process come bets, process place bets. So we say handle 7 out. If we roll a 7, we lose. If we roll 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, we win for that roll. So let's take a look, see if that much works. We'll try a loser and then we'll try a winner and make sure that both of those are working for, well, we'll try one loser, then we'll try a winner for all of the different bets at this point. All the different numbers. So let's give it a try. See if it runs. It runs. Excellent. As to say, craps, bet, place. Let's do a loser on the 4 for 5. We'll force a roll. A 7 roll to force that to lose. I should lose $5. I should have lost, but I didn't. Let's go find out why. So I've created the function process place bets, but I probably haven't called it yet. Yeah, I haven't called it yet. This dot process place bets for die total. Let's try that again. So as before, say craps bet place 4 for $5. Craps roll 3, 4. That should now cause me to lose. Excellent. Make sure that the bet got cleared out. Craps bets. I have no bets. Excellent. So now let's place a bet on the 4. So craps bet 4 for $1. Oops, craps bet place on the 4 for $1. And now let's win that. So craps roll 2, 2. I did not win that. Craps bets, see if the bet still exists. It does, so why did I not win on that? So we process place bets. Let's go look up process place bets. So die total. Die total is greater than or equal to 4. Yep, 4 is greater than or equal to 4. 4 is not equal to 7, and 4 is less than or equal to 10. So we should have gone to process bets. Oh, come bets. Well, let's replace that with place bets. And it's actually a little more complicated than this because I need to pass in not just bet 1, but the actual function I made. So let's go look up how that looks like. We'll just grab this. So this dot, I think it's place 1. And we need to bind the craps table, and the number is die total. That just barely fits on one line. So let's give that a try. As before, say craps bets place on the 4 for $1. Craps roll 2, 2 to force a winner. And I won $1.80. So let's go look at that math and make sure that that is correct. So in the 4 and 10 pay 9 to 5. So that looks like that should work. As I multiply my bet by 9, so 9 divided by 5. Yeah, 180 I think is correct, and I can confirm that. Oops, I lost everything. 1 second while I build up my desktop again here. There we go, got everything back. I got my whole secondary monitor with all my stream information. That all just vanished when I did that. Yeah, so let's bring out the calculator, and we could say, not a spreadsheet, let's just bring out a simple calculator here. Say 9 divided by 10 is 0.9. Oh, 9 divided by 5 actually. 9 divided by 5 is 1.8, so that's correct. I won 180 for a bet of 1. Let's try on the 10, just to make sure that I win on the 10 as well. So craps, bet, pass, actually not pass, place $1 on the 10. Craps, roll, 5-5, just to make that win, and it should be another win of 180. Excellent. What else? Let's do a bet on the 5, so craps, bet, place. See, Eris Torpora says, my terminal is not showing. Well, let's go fix that. Thank you for that. Craps, bet, place, and we'll do $1 on the place. Yeah, I'm so used to working with my secondary monitor that I didn't even check my primary monitor, so thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, so we placed a bet on the 5. Let's do a win. Craps, roll 2, 3. $1.40, so let's go look up the math for that. 5 and 9 pay 7 to 5, so it should be 7 divided by 5. 1.4. Excellent, so that wins as well. Let's go back and do a bet of 9. So craps, bet, place 9 for $1. And craps, roll 4, 5 to force a winner of that. And I won 140 again. The next one is the 6 and 8. So say craps, bet, place on the 6 for $1. Force a winner there. So craps, roll 3, 3. I won $1.16. Let's go look up the math for that. Let's see, you'll need to look up the actual amounts first. On the 6 and 8 pay 7 to 6, so we need 7 divided by 6. So 7 divided by 6 is 1.16 and change. So I lost 2/3 of a cent on that, but I did win the 1.16. That looks good. So let's also test the 8 out as well and make sure that the 8 does also work. And it is tough keeping my terminal up and going to the right browser window. So craps, bet, place on the 8 for $1. And then craps, roll 4, 4 to force a winner there, and should win 1.16 again. Let's check my balance. Alright, so I have a weird balance, 745.72. All these weird winners have brought my balance to kind of this weird amount, but it all works. All the math works out. Well, let's just make sure I've got no bets hanging out here. Craps. I have no bets. Excellent. So looks to be working. I'll leave the bot running a little bit here while I go clean up my documentation. I like to make sure that the documentation is updated as I add new features. So let's go update our betting guide. Bets that apply to a specific number, such as the come odds bet, use this format. Let's actually replace this with place, such as the place bet. Craps bet type number amount. Let's replace this with number. My UI is fighting me. I think that is... Oh, I was going to say I think that's sufficient, but I just realized I forgot to add in the actual place bets. So say place. Place on the specified number. Well, as far as I can tell, the code does seem to be working. I haven't run into any issues there. We could do some quick testing on some of the odds bets, the come odds and don't come odds, because those got refactored a little bit. So that's probably a good smoke test, is to make sure that those still work. So I'll do some quick testing on those. First, let's establish a point of, say, 4. Let's do a craps bet come $5. Let's move that to the 10. So actually, let's do a don't come as well for $5. So craps bet don't come for 5. Let's move those to the 10. So craps roll 5. Now let's do craps bet come odds on the 10 for 50. Craps bet don't come odds on the 10 for 50. Let's look at my bets here. So craps bets. Yeah, let's force a loser. It doesn't really matter at this point, so let's say craps roll 3, 4. Those should balance each other out, so I shouldn't actually win or lose anything. I lost $25. Why did I lose $25? Oh, right, because I didn't actually place my full odds on the don't come. I should have bet 100. So that's correct. Looks like that's working. Let's verify my bets are working. So that's actually a pretty good test. We actually confirmed that the amount is working, the multiplier is working, the come and don't come and odds for both are working. So I think that's a pretty substantial smoke test there. We'll continue to run for a bit longer. Someone wants to play with that. In the meantime, I'm going to start looking up my Git status. And start getting ready to commit. So we've added the place bets sparse array where we place in or place bets. We've added some minor comments to indicate we're skipping index 0. Just happened often enough to... It kind of implies that with the I not equal to 0, but it does help to indicate that we are using that to skip index 0. We initialize the place bets. We've moved process random roll. I think the order of where it wasn't so great, so I moved that to a new spot. Iterate over bets arrays. So we're iterating over all sorts of different bets. In fact, interesting. Why isn't this... Let's check the comment around line 62. I'm surprised that wasn't changed. Yeah, so we have initialize bets arrays. Let's just look up on the word indice. So initialize bets arrays. Iterate over bets arrays. Iterate over come bet arrays. So this is correct. Come bets arrays. That makes sense because we're processing just come bets here. Iterate over place bets array. Makes sense. Iterate over bets arrays. This is all of them. So come, don't come, odds and place. Iterate over come bets arrays. What is going on here? This must be the get or display the list the bets. So yeah, this makes sense because we go over the come bets first. And then we should have place down below. So let's just scroll through this here. Yeah, so that works. So iterate over come bets arrays. Iterate over place bets array. And initialize. So we're back at the beginning again. Looks good. Yeah, so initialize bets arrays, indices 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, skip index 0, and we add in place bets. We've moved process random roll to here, which I felt was a little better location for it. Iterate over bets arrays, indices 0, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, skip index 0, and we've added in place bets. This is for computing available balance. And so we moved show bet results. I don't think we made any real change to it, just moved that to a more logical location. Auto multiplier we kept, but we did rename it. Rename the parameter from point to number. We've added place multiplier. Let's see, then some comments. We changed point to number. Point to number. We've added in place 1. We had to do a math floor here because some of those multipliers, particularly for the 6 and 8, if you don't met a multiple of 3, will result in a fractional amount that we don't want to deal with. So we floor that to get rid of that. Show bet results, we've moved that elsewhere. Process random roll, we move that elsewhere. Process come bet number, we've renamed that from point to number. Renamed point to number here. Point to number. Point to number. Point to number. Iterate over come bets arrays. Just added plural of array. Rename point to number. Migrate come and don't come bets to their specific numbers instead of points. Process come bet number instead of process come bet point. Process place bets. This is a new one that we've added. So if we 7 out, we iterate over all the place bets array, or we iterate over the place bets array, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and then you lose. So a 7 will lose, cause all place bets to lose. And then if we actually roll a one of those good numbers of 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, you win. We've added a call to process place bets as part of our rule handling function. We've changed point to number for these odds calculations. Point to number here as well. Iterate over bets arrays. I think this is for determine if bets exist. Added skip index 0, added the comment on that, and then added place bets. As here's more point to number renames. So we renamed this variable to number. That affected all these calls here. Nothing too large, but just a small number of stuff here. Iterate over place bets array. So this must be get your list your bets. Yeah, we're printing out the bets. So we're printing out place plus the number plus the amount. Here we add in processing of the place bet. This is when we're processing the bet command. Handle number bet, we pass in username, place bets, and the bet. The diff is a little weird here. I added this new get bet number, which actually basically replicated most of the stuff from the very beginning of handle come odds bet. Basically, make sure you specify a number, make sure we can parse it, make sure it's valid, so 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, and then return it. Then handle come odds bet became a lot simpler because now we can simply call the get bet number rather than have to do all that check ourselves. We did rename point to number, so that's why this is different. Otherwise, it's pretty much what it was before. We've added a new handle number bet that we use for place bets. Number get bet number, username type bet. So it's basically the same get bet number we use for come odds bets. If it's not a number, return. Otherwise, handle it. And we don't have a check function here, so we pass in undefined. And what is this? The come odds check. We rename point to number. Rename point to number here as well. Point to number. So just kind of real generic on these things. Make it number instead of point. And same for this as well. Point to number, and then point to number here as well. And then finally, we have our documentation. We have bets that apply to a specific number instead of point, such as the place bet. I substituted place rather than come odds, because I thought place was a little shorter and maybe more commonplace of a bet. Use this format, craps bet type number amount. That we swapped point to number and added in place. Place on the specified number. So I think it looks good. Let's just look at my git log. Add support for don't come odds bet. So this will be add support for place bet. Add just those two files, we'll add that. Let's go ahead and commit that. And since I have changed my documentation, I've changed my player guide, I'm going to push this right away, verify that that shows up, and make sure that it looks good. So again, if you want to look at the code, all my code is open source. You can go to github.com/cutepixel/twitchcrapspot. I'm looking at the guide, the player guide, to make sure this shows up properly. Oh, you know what? I forgot to change this wording here. So let's go fix that. Bets that don't apply to a specific number, such as the pass bet, use this format. Bets that apply to a specific number, such as the place. Let's just do another search for the word point, see if it shows up anywhere in here. I don't think it does. Nah, we're good. We'll fix one instance of point that wasn't renamed to number. Add that, commit that. I use my editor because I have literal quotes and the command line version doesn't like those. And push those as well. Bets that don't apply to a specific number, such as the pass bet, use this format. Craps bet type amount. Bets that apply to a specific number, such as the place bet, use this format. Craps bet type number amount. So we added place, number, place on the specified number. Okay, let's go look at my to-do list and see what's coming up next. So we have place to lose is probably the next I want to add to kind of mirror the place bets I've just implemented. I'm kind of running out of time here. I have something I want to go do later today, starting at noon my time, and I need time to get ready for that. And I don't think that place to lose is going to be something I'm able to add in time. So it took me 90 minutes to add the place bets. Although I'm sure having done place bets already, it would go faster. I'm just concerned about having time to get ready for this activity at noon I need to engage in. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here. And for those who are watching, my next stream will be on Sunday, March 10th at 9 a.m. I do apologize that is a full week between streams again. But my schedule just ends up being pretty busy sometimes, so it's tough to stream more than that. I will add additional streams as I can, but for the next week my schedule is just pretty busy. Note that my time zone next week, starting next Sunday, is going to be Pacific Daylight Time, UTC -7, as opposed to UTC -8. So for those who do not obey Daylight Saving Time, note that my stream will be an hour different, an hour sooner than you might otherwise expect. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.